Welcome to the studio. This is my first festive video of 2020. I'm going so festive, I've even got bacon on the side of my festive Christmas elf hat. In this video we will break down the song White Christmas. I think it was Bing Crosby that did it first, but we'll be looking at the chord progression over on the board of knowledge and see if we can spot anything interesting about it. So we're over at the board of knowledge, but it's done some miles, it's looking a little rough around the edges, and also, you can't fit a lot of knowledge on there, and I'm about to dump a great deal of knowledge on your face. So I decided to upgrade. This is my big board of knowledge. Now this is the chord progression for White Christmas. There we go, I had to move the camera up a little bit to fit in all this knowledge. I have simplified the chord progression slightly. I've taken it into the key of C, the people's key, and I've taken away some of the more jazzy, exotic turnarounds and such. So what's so special about this chord progression? Well, it's full of different tools and songwriting techniques that make you expect a certain chord. It sends you in a certain direction. And these are called different things. They could be called cadences, modal changes, borrowed chords. But every note in every chord wants to gravitate towards one kind of area. You know, you feel like you can expect the next chord and then that chord is delivered. And then you feel connected with the song and you like the song. Now, if it does the opposite and you have a chord sequence that goes completely the opposite way and it goes outside of what you think it is, it changes your perspective, you feel disconnected to that because you predict it to go one way and it doesn't happen. You think, oh, what happens next? It's kind of like you're in a taxi, but the taxi driver is not going where you told him to. And you're a little bit uneasy about it, you don't know what to do. That's when people usually feel disconnected from a song. So let's take a closer look and we'll see how this directs you a certain way. So we can tell by looking at this chord progression at the top that the key is in C. C is the ultimate destination for this song. So the final chord right at the end is going to be C. To direct you towards C, they have used a perfect cadence. G to C is the fifth chord to the first chord. That's got a lot of gravity, that's got a lot of push. When you hear a G chord, you think that C is coming next. So that's the perfect way to deliver C. Hence, perfect cadence. But what about G? How could you direct people into G? You can take exactly the same approach. If you treat G as the destination, so G is now going to be number 1, we can do a perfect cadence into G. What's the fifth chord in the key of G? D. Now, because we keep it in the key of C, we need to use a D minor for it to actually fit. Otherwise, it's a key change. But I still see it as a perfect cadence. Every note in D wants to pull into G in exactly the same way as G to C. So, what about D minor? What if we treat D as the destination and we work out what is A to D minor?
Yep.
It's another perfect cadence. So now we got A minor as the destination. How is C leading to A minor? Well, I wouldn't say that it does lead to it. These two bars, for me, are one harmonic sound. C is the relative major of A minor is the relative minor of C. They are related. They're like cousins that really like each other. So they just kind of hug each other throughout that whole 2-bar section. So they are linked with harmonic relativity. So what about C? We've already said that G has the most gravity towards C, but this is F minor. Now, there's a lot of theory behind why this works, but there's different types of cadences. There's more than one chord that pulls you towards a certain direction. This just takes you to C from a different angle. Think of C being here, G takes you there, kind of from the top, from the happy side. F minor takes you to C from the sad side. Think of it like the upside down from Stranger Things. So the next one we got is F. Now, F to F minor is a very common tool. It's a very common chord change. You can change the fourth chord in any major key to a minor just to add a lot more colour to it. And then F minor, in turn, leads into C in a more darker, colourful movement. So F lines up F minor. So what about C7? Why is that there? Well, if F is the destination, if F is the root, number 1, C is number 5. That's a perfect cadence again. 5th to the root. And the last one of this line is C. Why is C there? It can be there. It can do whatever it wants. It's the key. But its main purpose at this point is to prepare you for C7. Sometimes you can't just go straight into the dominant version of the key because you need to kind of build up into it a little bit. So C to C7 prepares you for F. F prepares you for F minor, which prepares you for that. Everything is linked completely, especially this bottom line. The top line doesn't have that same direction of movement. They've saved it all for the second half. And the whole thing is just one big build-up to receive C at the end. The top line is more to serve the melody of the song. You start with C, nice calm 2 bars of C to get you comfortable with the key. D minor prepares you for G, so they are linked together. Back to D minor and G, because you didn't have enough of that the first time round, so they do it again. G to C, perfect cadence. And then we're away on our little directed path. So let me know what you think of this video. It's the first time I've done a song breakdown on the channel, and I should have given you a amber theory warning at the beginning, but I forgot. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these, and I hope this adds more direction to the chord sequences that you write. See how many of these movements you can spot in other songs. And I'll see you very soon for another
festive Christmas video!
Subscribe.